Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of No Man's Land with AF Farms. So, following up from the previous episode, we've just finished off our soybean harvest. So we've managed to harvest the entire field. We've also finished flattening out that hill we started to flatten out in yesterday's episode. So I've flattened it down a bit further, I've smoothed it off, so it's just a bit more gradual now. Very flat on the top, and still has a bit of a roll off the back, so I just figured that it was still a little bit too high, so I've gone ahead and just flattened it off even further. So we've still got a bit there that I probably need to flatten, but what we're going to do today is we're going to get straight into extending this field. And what we're going to do is we're also going to cultivate the other main fields. So the plan is to try and get our score up, our environmental score with the precision farming. So the way I want to try and achieve that is by going through the process of cultivating, liming, all those sorts of things. So I'm just going to get a big bud and I'm going to start cultivating. So this is all in preparation for when I finalise the field sizes and shapes, turning seasons on, etc. So this is just another one of those work in progress sort of jobs. So I'm going to unfold the cultivator, limit to fields, and we'll start him off over here, and we'll have a quick check on how many soybeans we ended up with. So I think it was over 1 million litres, but we'll double check that very soon. So I just want to make sure he is just going to cultivate and not create any new fields. So beautiful, that's exactly what we want. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to follow what the field info says. So it needs rolling, so I'm going to probably cultivate, then lime, then roll, and then we'll go from there. So we've still got some soybeans in here which we need to drop off, so I'll do that quickly. See if we can back this in. Hopefully we can do that. And I'll get the road train out of the way. And let's go have a look at the final harvest amount. So I think it was 1,100,000 and something thousand. Oh yeah, actually more than I expected, 1,448,000. So quite a lot, which is excellent. It's going to make a lot of money in the future. Alright, so let's get on to this field. So, construction menu, landscaping. We are going to go for the painting and plough state. So make it nice and big. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just start separated, and I'm just going to paint it, and then I'll come back through later and try and fix it up. So what I'll do first is I'll do the outline. Get it kind of roughly how I want it, and you can see how expensive this is by looking at how much the money is going down. Now the intention here is not to farm uphill, so I want to make this as square as possible, but I don't want to be going up the hill very much. So I might just square that across this way. Probably a little bit further. So what I will do is I'll use the field creator mod to straighten up these fields later on. Because the worker does a very good job of working at 90-degree angles, so it'll make it much easier for the worker to do their thing. straighten up these fields, so I'll show you how that works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go over the area as quick as possible. So I'm overlapping slightly because you only pay for the area that you need to plough, so you don't have to pay what you have ploughed. So you can see here I'm in the ploughed area, but it's not costing me anything. So you basically just got to colour it in. Obviously I don't want to miss anything. And it's going to be interesting to see how much this costs. Last time I did this, it cost me about 6 million, 4 million, somewhere around there to do a pretty big field, so hopefully it's not going to cost that much. But regardless, we'll just sell some of those soybeans, if not all of them, to cover the cost. Now, there's no real rhyme or reason with how I'm doing this, I'm just sort of doing it as quickly as possible. It's a little bit janky on the controller sometimes to get nice straight lines. And because we're growing grass as well in this field, it's a little bit hard to see sometimes where you've done. Now what I could do is I could get the cultivator to come through and do this. However, they tend to go where you don't want them to, and it gets a little bit annoying trying to fix up the mess. So how much have we spent so far? About $500,000 to $1 million. So it's very, very expensive. Like, even though it's $1 in the menu, I think it's basically $1 per square. So the little tiny square you start with is $1. However, when you get out to the full size tool that we've got out now in the landscape editor, that's obviously where the extra expense comes in. So this is going to be quite a big field. And some of these fields are probably likely to reduce in size once I come up with the final design. So I want them to be basically all square. I don't want any angles, I don't want any round corners. It's just a little bit more efficient for the machines. And it's just a bit easier gameplay wise. So I will be losing out on a bit of land to farm, but yeah, at the end of the day, the farmable area is already huge. So if I'm not farming the whole map, that's not the end of the world. I just sort of want to be able to stand in the center of the map and look out in all directions and see crops growing. That's kind of the goal with this build, with this series. And then obviously we want to fill up that grain silo. $16 million litres of crops is going to be pretty impressive. I don't think I've ever seen that anywhere on YouTube, on any Let's Play. So large scale farming, something a bit different. I'll be interested to see what you guys, how you guys like to play the game. You know, whether you like Let's Plays, whether you like big maps, small maps, English, American, all that sort of stuff would be interesting. So it's a little bit tedious doing this, but it's well worth the effort in the end. It's just so expensive, that's the only issue. So I guess, you know, it's a trade-off. You either plough it with a worker or by yourself. It'll take you some time. Otherwise you spend the money, then you can get it done a lot quicker. I'm just looking at my texturing skills, they're getting a bit wayward here, so I'm just trying to focus on what I'm doing. I'm thinking up and back might be the most efficient. There we go, now we're talking. So obviously this field hasn't had anything grown in it yet, so we'll see what the precision farming menu says. So we may have to sort of put some amendments in there, some lime or such things, so we'll see what happens there. And you can see on the mini-map down there, we're kind of getting towards having this all painted now. Just got a little bit more to go. Almost there. So we'll check the finances after this as well, see how much this actually cost. It's looking like it's going to be around 3 mil, which is quite a lot of money really when you think about it. But because of the scale of the operation we've got going, it really it's not a huge expense in the overall sort of scheme of things. I mean, if this was base game, I definitely would not be doing this, because we'd just drain the finances way too much. It takes far too long to make money if you don't have huge fields or productions sort of underway. Whereas we've got the benefit of scale here, so large scale operation. Okay, cool, that looks like everything. Alright, let's check the money. So that cost us 3.7 mil, which is quite a lot. Alright, so let's get cultivating. So we use the big bud. I'll get rid of this dolly. So for my cultivating, I use the, I forget the name of it, the compact. It's basically the biggest cultivator in the game. So the Farmet Compactomat. Might be European. And I'm just going to cultivate this field, so it's actually not too big in comparison to the other fields anyway. And we're just going to cultivate this field. So we've got no data found, so we're actually going to have to buy. We're going to have to buy the data, so let's do that. Yeah, also from memory, it doesn't actually plough in all of the grass actually, so I'll have to use a seeder to do that. Alright, field info, let's have a look. Okay, so let's go and buy these. It does get a bit buggy from time to time when I try and buy the... Yeah, that's probably what it's trying to save. Okay, let's try again. So yeah, so it's bugged out on me, so I'm gonna have to come back later and try this. Alright, anyway. Let's go and check on the other. So it is cultivating it a little bit, which is fine. Let's check on this field. So what does it say we need? So it needs rolling, it needs fertilizing, and it needs lime. So what I might do, so we might try out a couple of different cultivators here. So let's have a look at. See what we've got in terms of the big size. So that's 15 meters. Disc arrows. Let's have a look at the disc arrows. So it only does 12 meters, but it'll do 20 k's an hour. Same with that. So these are all field creators. Alright, let's go back to the cultivators. So this one won't create fields. So I think 15 meters is about as far as big as they get. Biggest plow, mulches. So I don't think the mulcher will work on soybeans. So pH, yeah, we need to alter the pH here. So what is this guy doing? Is he going to back up and... Nope, he's just going to start from there. Okay. Interesting. Alright, let's get some different cultivators on the go. So let's try the where were we? Disc harrow. So this has got a little slightly less horsepower requirement. 615 horsepower. I think I'll just go the Case IH. So let's I'm just going to lease 2 of these. And I'm just going to use one of my... So I don't know why the game does this, but every time I have these connected, the seeders and the... They always tend to twist on themselves. I don't understand what is going on there, but... Very weird. Alright, what am I going to do to get these down here? I might just get the JCB on the case. Nice interior on this one. So you can still see we're missing a bit of crop with those high-speed harvesters. We've missed a whole section here. Oh wow, that's a bit of an issue. Anyway, we'll fix that up for next time. So hopefully this will actually tow. It should be fine to tow it. I mean, this is a pretty nice looking disc harrow, so yeah, we've got a new fend tub on the hill there, so we might use that to come back. So I'm still looking to plan out the main farm build, just haven't decided exactly what to do yet. I think once I've finished ploughing out the remaining fields, and I'm sort of happy with that, then I'll move on to the rest of the farm. So I'm actually going to use our 2-track John Deere 957 RT to do this one. So the manoeuvrability on these is pretty good. That's why you would go for them in real life. Now the horsepower requirements should be good on this one because I did upgrade the engine, so alright. Head over this way and we'll get him started. I do like the animations that these machines have. Very cool. And that's going to be another project, figuring out what I'm going to do with those turbines. Alright, here we go. So I'll hire a worker. Get that cultivation underway. So you can see it leaves a slightly different ground texture as well. Alright, we'll get our fend, we'll grab the other one, bring it back, and then we'll send it as well. Almost there. There we go. So I picked this up used in the previous episode, I think. I mean, even though we've got quite a bit of money, I don't just buy tractors or harvesters brand new unless I absolutely have to. So we still want to be a little bit sensible with the cash flow. But this tractor would be pretty handy because it's got a 63 km/h top speed, so it makes trips back and forward from the shop pretty quick. So I hope you're enjoying the series so far. We're up to about 42 episodes. More recently I've started doing the voiceover commentary. The first few episodes didn't have that, obviously, so it was more a case of didn't have a microphone as to why there's not earlier recordings. Alright, so we used this 9RX to start doing the other field, so what I'll do is I'll get him started on this field here. And then we'll move him along as we go through, so... Okay, so cool, we've got... And I'll get this front loader out the way. I mean, I could probably get rid of this now. It was only just because the road train tipped over in the previous episode. So I just want to have a look at the difference in ground texture here. So we can see that we've got quite a bit different ground texture there. So what sort of impact those have on crops, don't really know. I believe it may make a difference in precision farming. If we go and have a look at our... So that's ready for a seed bed, so... And so is that. So I'm also unsure where the rolling comes into it as well. Let's have a quick look at the help menu. So rolling will grant you an additional yield bonus when rolling over the seed bed after sowing. So small stones left in the field will also be pressed back down. Rollers in grassland care section. So this is after you've planted. Okay, good to know. So what we might do is we'll cultivate, then we'll lime, and then we will plant. Then we'll roll and we'll see what sort of results we get. So how we're going progress-wise is probably going to take a little while. So how many workers have we got underway? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I might do while those guys are underway, I'm going to have a look at potentially how we can expand this area of the farm up the back. So I'll jump in the trusty pickup and we'll go for a bit of a recon session. If I could find the... There he is. So not looking too bad. So it's just going to be a matter of how far up this hill we go. So I don't think I want to go any further than potentially what we already have. So I want to have a nice big area to turn around. I could go probably a little bit further. And then I just need to decide what I'm going to be doing up through this area. So I'm thinking we could probably have some fields through here, but I'm going to have to move all of this solar farm area. Join these two fields up and kind of address this big slope. We've got quite a steep drop off. Because I could very easily move all this stuff. I mean, sell it. It's going to make a loss, obviously. But to go ahead and rebuild it, just... Yeah, you can see that that's a bit of an issue there. So I think that's what we're going to do, actually. So we'll leave it there for today's video. Tune in for the next video where we're going to start moving the solar farm and the wind turbines just here. So see you in the next one.